test of general knowledge. Those are we just opened those bridges, okay? They're Jubilee bridges, commemorate the Queen's accession to the throne. Who was President of America when she took the throne? Has anybody been there since you've been here? Okay, the big art gallery is the National Gallery, National Portrait Gallery. A lot of very important things. It's just behind Leicester Square, right? So if you go further up Leicester Square on the Piccadilly and Northern lines, with a statue, right, to Admiral Nelson, who defeated the French 1805 and stopped the Napoleonic invasion of this island in 1805 by defeating the Spanish and French navies off Cape Trafalgar, which is southwest Spain. But one of the great sort of military heroes, he was killed in the battle. Buckingham Palace is the royal palace only since the reign of George III. He had 15 children, and Kensington Palace is too small, right? When Charles and Diana got married in 1981, they broke tradition and they had the marriage in St. Paul's Cathedral, which is down this way, the big church in the east. The reason for that was a much longer ceremonial road from Buckingham Palace, through here, through Trafalgar Square, along the Strand, down into Fleet Street, and up into St. Paul's Cathedral. So, millions of people, everybody watching, television cameras everywhere. If they'd done it at Westminster Abbey, it's just down out of the palace, turn right, and you're there already. So it's a much smaller route. Okay? That's the National Gallery, National Portrait Gallery.
Okay, so right now we're on a bridge. It looks like this. It's a bridge. Hi. We're walking this way. I guess we're stopping right about here. Now let's hear what Bill has to say.
Okay, you're looking at London, okay? That's London down there. This is Westminster down here around the bend in the river. We're sort of right in the middle of the bend at the moment. You look at the bullet-shaped building known as the Gherkin. We call it the Gherkin or the Pickle. That's more or less the other side of the Roman city of London. So from St. Paul's Cathedral to the Gherkin building, that's more or less the extent of the square mile, which is the city of London. Established by the Romans 48, 49, 50 AD because they could build a bridge across the Thames roughly in that area. Westminster, 700 years later, 800 years later, okay? It only becomes significant 1,000 years after Roman London is established because the court moves to Westminster because Edward the Confessor wants to oversee the building of the Westminster Abbey. Okay, so we're on the bend. You can see the bend in the river. Anyways, we're south of the river for the first time. Hope you all brought your passports. Okay, it's a completely different world south of the river. It's one of the standard jokes. Everything important is up there, and south of the river, you never go south of the river. So even the underground doesn't go south of the river. That's how, it's not true. It does go south of the river, but not very much. This would have been all wharves and stuff like that, and factories, small business, etc. However, in 1940, the Blitz begins. The Germans come along and they say everything along the river, because that was they were guided into London, okay, by the river, and of course a lot of barrages and balloons and stuff like that. So everything along the river was more or less destroyed, especially sort of down further on in the Docklands area. So this was a mess after World War II finished, and so they sort of cleared it all up. They were impoverished because the war really impoverished Britain. It made America sort of the greatest power in the world, but it really impoverished Britain.
Okay, so we're here at the site of the original Globe Theatre, which has been turned into a parking lot, apparently. So here we have some plaques and stuff.
Diocese and they had Liberties down here, and that's where they allowed the actors to perform, they allowed the bears to perform, they allowed the dog fighters to perform. Prostitution, this is where prostitution was centered as well. They were called Winchester geese, prostitutes in the Elizabethan Jacobean period. This is the Diocese of Winchester, and because it was in the territory of the Bishop of Winchester, and presumably prostitutes, they tried to get some business, and they sounded like they were geese or Catholics.
So we'll get some interviews. So, Eli, what do we have here?
Titus Andronicus here.
That's where Shakespeare did his stuff with the things. And when stuff happened, and then he got famous. And now if he was alive, he'd be loaded. Because there's that movie with Benjamin Bratt, and there's a Shakespeare.
Interview with Lauren.
Yes, it's awesome.
What do you think of the tour?
It's awesome.
Okay, you're not really good at this.
Except it was like modern reinterpretation.
You ready?
I'm hungry.
Is that it?
Really hungry.
And he was loaded. And he just
Loaded!
okay,
That's where it was. That's where it all started, right there.
right here, right there. So he lives in one of these apartments. What you're saying, Shakespeare?
Yeah, he lives in a penthouse. What if I take a picture of you taking a picture?
Uh oh, we're gonna destroy.
I did it. I just did it.